In this tutorial, I like to show you two ways how you can turn on the lamp right here in the background. For this, I use two techniques. Sometimes the fast one, what I like to show you now, and sometimes the other technique, what takes a little bit more time, but it also looks very, very cool. But let's start with the first technique, with the fast technique. I create a new layer, and what I need are 2 clicks. The first click right here with pure white, 100%, a smaller brush right inside this lamp, just like that. And the second click with a bigger brush and a lower opacity, maybe 30%, 20%, something like that. And again, I click right inside the lamp. That's the fast way. What I use? Yeah, sometimes. But in this tutorial, I like to show you another technique too. So I delete this layer 1 right here, and I like to play with the render filter. I choose the render filter lens flare. And I like the lens flare 105mm prime. I like to choose right here this lens flare. I can place it anywhere how I like. Let me place the lens flare right here. And I click OK. As you can see, I have a great light, but I also have the lens flares, and I don't like the lens flares, because the lens flares looks very, very much as Photoshop, so people do know that you add a Photoshop trick or something like that. Of course, you can retouch the lens flares right here, but that would be, a hard job to retouch all the lens flares right here. So I don't like to use the lens flare right here on the pixels. I like to use the lens flare on a gray layer that I can retouch the lens flares. I like to show you how I do that. So I create a new layer and I choose the blend mode right here into hard light, and then I can fill that layer with 50% gray. And now I have to add the lens flare. Render, lens flare. I choose my 105mm prime, and then I can place this lens flare right into the lamp. But where is the lamp? I can't see it. We have to do a little trick. What I do right now is I choose my background. I go into the lens flare again. And I place this lens flare right into the lamp right here. I click OK. And then I undo this change. And now I go into my gray layer right here and I choose the lens flare again. And look what happened. The position of the lens flare is the same what you used on the background image. Perfect. I click OK, and now I have my lens flare. And what I can do now is I can retouch these lens flares right here. So I change the blend mode from this gray layer into the normal mode. And then I can retouch this lens flare. You can paint right here. You can pick up this color with the Alt key. And then you can paint here, of course, with 100%. That's a way what you can do. Just paint here. And what else you can do is you can retouch this layer. So choose your patch tool. And then you can retouch the lens flares what you don't like. You can also retouch this lens flare what you like. If you change the blend mode back into the hard light, you can see your lens flare. That's a very cool technique for adding a light. Sometimes I use the fast way, and sometimes I use this way with the render filter lens flare. It's up to you, but I showed you my 2 techniques for adding a light.